So not long ago, thanks to First Lady Nancy Reagan, we used to tell kids, just say no to drugs. And now, thanks to ADHD, we're forcing 4.5 million kids to kickstart every morning with a dose of dangerous, addictive drugs. Yummy. Unfortunately, something's happening here. And what it is, well, it ain't exactly clear. So for a world where common sense is not that common anymore, let's for a moment consider 10 reasons why giving addictive drugs to kids for this thing called ADHD might just be a bad idea. Reason number 1, in general, kids are naturally highly excitable, easily distracted, and yes, at times, slightly annoying. But for centuries, the idea of drugging kids was a taboo subject. Also, what many don't realize is that the symptoms used to diagnose ADHD are the same traits we use to diagnose gifted kids, and common things like temporary developmental delays and behavior issues. Many fail to understand that these symptoms of ADHD will mellow with time as our children grow and mature, develop gradually. But those unique behaviors which remain are what make us special. With ADHD, there are just too many what-ifs. What if we are drugging the Da Vincis, Edisons, Einsteins, and Lincolns of tomorrow because they don't think or act like other normal kids? What if children put on addictive ADHD drugs will never be able to live a normal life off of the drugs? And what if ADHD was invented to sell ADHD drugs? Reason number 2, to be ADHD is just a matter of opinion. No test exists that can distinguish between who does or doesn't have ADHD. ADHD is only in the eye of the profitable beholder. You see, there's no written, medical, or biological test capable of diagnosing ADHD. The 18 symptoms only describe normal child development. This is why basically every child that visits an affluent drug-happy doctor leaves ADHD. That's convenient. And the experts endorsing these disorders get paid by the drug companies. Reason number 3, the drug makers claim to not know what their medicine actually does to a child's brain or long-term development. They've been saying this for 60 years. Who would sell something to kids for 60 years, let alone one day, if they truly had no idea how it might hurt children? And meanwhile, back in the land of reality, studies on lab animals, they provide all the answers we need to know. My new book has a chapter on the endless health risks of these drugs. And as reason number 4 explains, the drug's life-threatening long-term effects far outweigh any perceived behavioral benefit. But unfortunately for kids, it seems as if we've grown oblivious to these side effects. Reason number 5, truth be told, our flawed education policy holds partial blame for fueling the ADHD movement. Test scores are falling, great teachers are leaving, more than 3 million students drop out every year, and studies show ADHD drugs don't help students academically. We need so much more than new standards and more tests. Reason number 6, it's all speculation. Sure, they can act like ADHD is something real scary, but they have no conclusive brain scan, genetic, or medical evidence to back up their claims. They're selling a shortcut to raising kids, void of any worthy research to assure us of its legitimacy or safety. Reason number 7, research documents that the behaviors associated with ADHD are common signs of normal children progressing through normal developmental stages. Unfortunately, ADHD experts seem to have no background or interest in what decades of child development research tells us. Reason number 8, for most, ADHD symptoms can be effectively managed without drugs. Real academic success rests upon parents and educators working more closely together to truly discover an education that leaves no child left behind. Reason number 9, drugs cannot fix the external factors at home and school that influence behavioral challenges. The problems associated with ADHD do not emanate from within a child's brain. Like it or not, fixing these problems rests upon us adults once again taking more responsibility for our kids' behaviors. Reason number 10, quite simply, we should never drug kids for acting like kids. Let's just remove ADHD from our vocabulary. They only get one childhood, and no child should be dangerously medicated, drugged, and robbed of such priceless carefree days and dreaming of what life holds in store. Like the Lorax, I'm just trying to speak for the kids because they seem to have no voice in this thing called ADHD. My goal is to provide parents and educators with logic and reason that drug manufacturers and some mental health folks aren't sharing. It's time for an honest discussion. But before I go, here's a slide from the mind of my expressive, creative 6-year-old son, who, yes, is often driven by a motor, fidgets, talks excessively, climbs. The list of the other 14 symptoms goes on. But you know, he acts like a kid, an incredible 6-year-old boy. Thanks for listening. When it comes to kids, I hope you just say no to drugs. And also, by the way, if you get the urge, please check out my book for more info. It costs less than 3 Adderall pills. You know, that's a deal.